Hello, everyone. Welcome to Edessa, the Dark Crusade Season 2. And tonight, um, not too early, actually, because, well, a certain someone has a certain flaw. That means that she will not get up very early. Um, Irene Arguedes is making her way, actually, kind of wandering through the city. There is a ghoul with her, kind of dressed like a guard, as her sire, well, her new sire, requested of her when she goes out into the city. As she's walking around, she actually comes across the road that would lead to, well, amongst other things, the fine establishment of a certain Lilsombra that she has not seen for quite a while. Um, well, kind of out of curiosity, um, she decides to pay him a visit. So she will actually go as far as to send the guard ahead because, come on, she can't take care of herself, uh, at least for a little bit or so. She seems to think, and it would be highly inappropriate to come like unannounced. So she'll send the guard ahead to ask if the lord of the establishment, Lord Orsini, would have some time to receive guests. And yeah, she'll follow slowly afterwards, and will arrive at said establishments to probably find her guard there, and hopefully he has a positive answer.
Yeah, most likely, unless this guard is like huge,
Nah.
he's gonna be pretty scared by Orsini's backdoor guard, the tall, dark, handsome, emotionless Moorish slave that he has posted there. And she probably sees her guard being not exactly feeling comfortable. Um, but when the Moor notices Irene, he gives a slight nod, opens the door, and presuming that her personal guard will want to approach, he's gonna be greeted by a pretty stern nudge into the chest. She
Yeah.
goes in, you stay out.
Irene would walk up quickly to hopefully diffuse the situation, and she'll give her well, the ghoul that Lord Ulrich sent along with her. She'll give him a couple of coins and just tell him to go and get himself a drink, so that, yeah, he would be out of the way.
Irene makes her way down the stairs to Orsini's office, and for probably the first time, she notices a light struggling to flicker from behind the almost closed door, and she can hear mumbling and the sound of someone writing, the scratches on a parchment,
And
which,
she'll, sorry.
which would be a sound she'd probably recognize, being educated.
Mhm. She will take a couple of moments to not really listen into the mumbling, but more to see if this would be someone mumbling to himself or whether this would be a conversation he would actually be having. Because if there would be a second voice and it would be a conversation, that she would definitely wait until the other visitor would be gone.
Okay. Can Irene speak Italian, Latin, or any Romance
Yes,
language?
yes.
Italian, yes, Italian or yes, Latin.
That I would actually need to look up. I believe Latin, but I'm not 100% sure. And of course, I don't have the character sheet up
Okay,
because why would
don't
you?
bother. You make up like half of the words, which are money, boring, fuck, hooker, uh, and wanker. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's about it. So like three or four curse words, something about money, something about hookers.
But it's just one voice, right?
It's Orsini talking to himself. You can figure
Okay,
that much out.
that is good. In that case, she would give a polite knock on the door.
All sound stops, and you hear footsteps approaching the
She
door
would
opening.
take one step back before the door opens.
You see Orsini in his usual black clothes as he widens his eyes, gestures for you to take a seat,
She will
and
curtsy before
looks
politely.
behind you and actually steps outside of the room to look behind you. And noticing that you are unaccompanied, closes the door, actually bangs the door behind you, takes a seat. You see a candle flickering on his desk, a lot of papers, numbers. He's probably doing his taxes or the medieval equivalent of that.
Uh,
Um,
She will make sure not to make note of anything on the table.
and he takes a seat and addresses you in his very elegant, very posh, very prim and proper coin. Lady Argyris, you alone in my establishment. What would people say?
Lord Orsini, I hope I do not catch you at a bad time.
He gathers the papers and puts them to the side. He's dealing with some paperwork, nothing important. The curses of running a business.
I am sure it must be a very demanding task.
It is a chore, but I'd rather do it myself than have any other do it.
That I understand.
But I see that the old proverb is right.
I beg your
When
pardon?
when the cat's out of the way, all the mice come out and play. You find yourself lacking a sire and start paying visits all by yourself.
I I apologize, but I have to correct you. Do I am not without a sire.
Has Lady Alexandris returned to the city without me knowing?
No, my lord.
Ah, yes, of course. I forgot the little that little detail. You are now to be considered Ulrich's child, am I not right?
Yes, my lord.
And Ulrich allowed you to come alone to me.
Ulrich allows me to go out into the city to attend to my business if I bring a ghoul of his along.
And you call him Ulrich. You might be even closer than I think.
I he prefers that, but I outside of the walls I should address him properly, and I apologize. It's very poor etiquette of me.
I think you're forgetting who you're speaking with, child. I care little for etiquette and manners. Courtesy is the only thing that keeps us from being at each other's throats.
All the more reason to apply etiquette well, when meeting with someone.
Yes, but unfortunately for you, we've known each other for quite some time. There's no need for so much etiquette around me.
How is that unfortunate, my lord?
When you get to a certain age, you'll discover that the company of others dulls some of your senses. Your common sense being the first one that goes.
I see. Did I make a mistake by dropping by, my lord?
I said that my door is open to any Canaanites that wishes to show themselves.
Hmm,
Should you
thank you.
not have been welcome, you would not have entered through the door. Unless you snuck by my guards and your ability in our clan talents has gotten to a very interesting point.
As much as I would like to surprise my clan in a positive way, I am afraid that my abilities do grow, but not at an accelerated pace.
Yeah. I see that you still bear the mark of your sire's training. Takes you a long time to find your words, child.
I prefer to choose my words carefully, my lord, as to lessen the chance of a mistake.
I don't think Ulrich is much a fan of punishment, but still.
He is a very gentle sire, but I would not be as bold as to confuse gentle for forgiving.
Yes. Still, to what do I owe your visit?
I, to be completely honest, my lord, I was in the neighborhood and I had not seen you for quite some time, so I thought I would pay you a visit out
The
of,
whole clan hasn't seen me for quite some time. I had other matters to attend to.
of course, my lord. And I did not come here out of curiosity as to these matters, but merely to see how you were doing and if there was anything that I could perhaps assist you with, whether it would be requiring information from the city or anything else.
I have my own ears around the city. You don't get to live as much as I did without having informants, little birds around the city.
Hmm.
I do have the feeling that you came here for another reason. But still, if you wish to provide information, I'd be very curious to find out what happened to your good sire. She was, after all, in the graces of many powerful Canaanites in the city. To
Yes.
disappear so abruptly and to leave her children behind Seems like it's not like her.
As far as I am aware, because she left me no note or word. But through rumors, I heard that she left together with the Lord Tamerlane.
And she
I,
did not say a word about us leaving.
she, she and I did not see each other a lot in the days prior to her leaving.
Strange.
Why, my lord?
She seemed very attached to you.
I am afraid that I have disappointed her.
I merely stepped out of line once, and that's because of her improper training. I'm sure the same thing would not happen again with Ulrich watching over it. Though there is so much potential inside you that is spoiled by training with Ulrich, but I'd rather not have you as a liability than use your whole potential. It's better to be safe than sorry in recent nights.
I understand, my lord.
Yet you still give me the feeling that you don't speak freely. Tell me, child, do I scare you? Do I make you uneasy? Does the knowledge of the fact that you stand before a man that dabbles in the secrets of the abyss make you uncomfortable?
My lord, you do not make me more uncomfortable as any your age, and all I wish to do is address you with the proper respect that comes with such an age.
Out of character, I'm gonna roll for that to see if you're bullshitting me or not.
um, sure, go ahead.
Let's see.
I set us up in Dice Roller 1. Oh, wait, you know that. Blah.
Fair. What would make sense here? Perception, empathy?
Yeah, I guess that will work. Mm, and the question is, am I going to roll something for it or not? 'Cause- you know what? I'll roll charisma expression? Appearance expression? What would be the right one? It doesn't matter, it's the same dice roll.
The appearance wouldn't make sense. Are you trying to hit on him?
No, she's not trying to hit on him.
Like, don't make this more awkward than it already is.
Oh, wow. Never mind.
Ooh, okay.
Like,
I,
I
I,
was
I
seeing that
can
dice
still
roll, I
roll.
was like, huh, but then I saw the ones.
I still can roll worse than 0. 4 successes.
Wow.
I see right through you.
You do, you do. Let me see. So your question was if basically if she felt awe for his power. She does.
More fear than awe.
Okay, sorry. If she fears him, um, it's not fear as much as it is anticipation and indeed respect, and respect more in the sense of mm, like she respects his power. Um, and she is very careful not to disturb that. But it's not fear. She's fucking courage 5. She's not that quickly like frightened. Strangely enough.
If I add all my intimidation bonuses, I can top that 5.
I'm pretty
Don't make
sure
me go
you
there.
can.
Don't make me go there.
Oh, that's like she's not completely at ease talking with him because yeah, like there is a big difference in power and she's very well aware of that. But she's not.
And you see the shadows like trying to kill the flame of that candle. Is harbinger of the abyss still.
Mm.
Just because that candle's alight, that doesn't mean it's not struggling to be so, and that shadows don't move behind him.
Actually, my lord, I did have a question a long time ago that I could not ask. And I thought maybe you could, maybe not necessarily provide me with the full answer as well as more to a hint of the right answer or where to look for it. Of course, if you are so inclined to.
Maybe. And as he says this, you see his face going very close to the candle. Very close. To the point in which I think it would be in good taste to roll courage.
Okay. I am fine with that. Watch me watch.
What the fuck?
Wow. No, I did it wrong. I wrote an F instead of a D. That's it. That's better. Well, there's a 6 there.
What the hell did I do? Yeah, I tried to do something. Let's see what that. Why isn't it working anymore?
You need the space between the R and the 4.
Huh. Nope.
Huh. That's weird.
There we go.
Ah, there he
One
is.
success. So
And she
him,
also has
you
one.
see him being, yeah, but that's actually it's difficulty 3 for a candle flame, so I get 4 successes.
Oh.
Yeah, so he puts his face almost touching the candle with his chin and goes and extinguishes the candle. And now you're in complete darkness. Because this is how I roll.
Well, at least that she doesn't need to roll appearance subterfuge to, like, at least not come across as at least slightly nervous.
Ah, by the way, Orsini has dark sight. I can see you.
Ah, okay, then I will roll it. Which is my highest dice pool. 1, 2, 3 successes.
Let's see. Perception.
Empathy again.
Empathy again.
If you hear any background noises, it's the wind
One
and the rain.
success.
Nah, she looks completely relaxed.
I see you got accustomed to the dark.
Isn't that one of the trademarks of our tribe, my lord?
Takes years for some. Some
And
never
less,
completely adapt.
and less for others.
You hear Orsini like leaning back and you hear his chair creak a little. Your question, child.
Yes, my lord. The question I had is actually that both you and my sire seem to have some interesting features that not the rest of our tribe, sorry, clan, does not have. I was wondering, I heard that it was because of things that you have seen, and I was merely curious as to what that would be.
I could tell you what I could show you. Unfortunately, the decision to show you is not mine to make. And my relationship with my brother has never been very cordial. So I'd rather tell you.
That would have my preference as well, my lord, for now.
And should I so wish, I could ask Ulrich. And your word would matter little. You are still a fledgling, keep that in mind.
Yes, my lord, I did not mean to say that my opinion really mattered much, but
Oh, for the love of the gods, stop apologizing so much, child. It is annoying and it's getting on my nerves. You want to know why some of us are surrounded by the dark? Why to some of us the dark clings like moth to a flame?
yes, my lord.
On some, it is a mark of the blood. On the others, such as I, it is a mark of honor. The dark chose me and others like myself to mark it, uh, to mark them as messengers, as valued children. When you spend so much time in the abyss, when you get to know the true secrets of our talent, the abyss finds its right to reward you. The fact that my shadows move around and extinguish the flame are nothing more than proof and reinforcing of the tenets of my path. We are the clan of shadows. Therefore, shadows surround some of us. Therefore, our path, our righteous path, the path of the abyss mystics, is to walk with the shadow. Do not believe the ones that tell you that shadow is merely the absence of light, and with no light around, there is no shadow. Shadows that stem from the abyss, shadows that stem from the dark heart of a world that was here before our own. They do not need light to survive. Therefore, they extinguish it.
I see. So, am I safe to assume that you, in your mortal life, your shadow was not behaving, well, differently than those of others? That you've gained this right later on?
Gained this right fairly recently. It's been 4 or 5 years, something like that. Still getting accustomed to it. Most people see it as a hindrance. Most people see it as a breach of the silence of the blood. And I can see why they would do so. They are so dependent on the light to read, to see, to feed. One of the first things that we are taught once we take on the path and the mantle of the mystics. It's how to bypass this little inconvenience. It is completely dark around us, yet I see you no worse than when the light was on. And Orsini gets closer to you. You can hear the chair creak basically. And you feel something really, 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 really cold on the tip of your nose. As Orsini just goes, "Boop,"
And
without the sound effect, but you get the
yeah,
gesture.
I get the gesture, and I'll again make a subterfuge roll to not duck away from it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes this time. So she remains perfectly still.
Have I answered your question, child?
Yes, I I do thank you for your answer. It does not was not completely the answer I hoped for, but at least it enlightened me.
What were you hoping for?
Have you met someone who, in their mortal life, had certain talents that amplified after their embrace, my lord?
I've met some. I've met seers. I've
Mm.
met great hunters. I've met people that could behead you before you could blink. Their abilities were amplified after they were embraced. Some through training, others through age, others through a fortuitous combination of the powers of the blood of the clan that they were sired in. It is only natural. But no, I did not have the power to bend shadows to my will before I was sired. I was a simple nobleman, like many of this city, like some of us, before we were sired, not only Lilsombra, but other clans as well, and discovered the true power of the dark through my own studies. I had some guidance. You cannot completely do this on your own.
Did you choose the dark, or did the dark choose you, my lord?
Good question. It's never one way or the other. You have to come willingly to the dark. You can't exactly be pushed into it. Though some would say that you can be manipulated to choose the dark. If you do not come to it truly willing, the dark spits you out. And even if you are willing, and if you are capable, and your intentions are true, the dark might decide to not see you worthy. If you are both worthy, capable, and accepted, then you turn into one like me.
And have you ever heard of the dark choosing someone before their embrace, guiding them perhaps on that path?
I severely doubt it. I've never heard of it, though in all my studies that would be nonsense.
Hmm.
The dark chooses us Lilsombra specifically due to the nature of our blood. Maybe in faraway lands in times long gone by, the goals of our clan might have proven worthy, but I fear that such a tale would be more of a legend. The knowledge of the abyss amplifies our natural powers, our natural affinity for the dark. Yes, and it marks us, some more than others. But once you gain the wisdom of the abyss, you stop seeing them as hindrances. See them as what they truly are: gifts, badges of honor.
Hmm. Thank you. And one final question now. Have you ever heard of the darkness showing people visions or something like that?
I did.
I see.
Some of us bathe in the darkness in order to have visions. The darkness is infinite, infinite in its power and infinite in its knowledge. That we need a strong mind to be able to withstand whatever the dark chooses to show you. But yes, of course, the dark can grant you visions. But you need to ask for them and pay for them.
They do not come naturally.
I doubt it.
Thank you, my lord. Those were the questions that were on my mind for some time.
And tell me, Irene,
Yes, my lord.
you'd figure out that this is the first time he ever called you Irene and not Lady Argyris or anything else for that matter. Since when did you start having these visions? And I'm gonna roll manipulation empathy because he's trying to get something out of you.
I guess I mean I can counter that with perception, empathy, but take a higher difficulty since it's in complete darkness.
You can hear him but not see him.
Exactly. So I'll take a thinking either +1 or +2. What would be mm, fuck it, I'll go for a +2 because yeah, not being able to see when you're
Two
accustomed to that.
successes.
Okay, perception, empathy. Three successes. Damn. And that on a diff 8. My lord, why would you be interested in this?
You came to me with your questions.
Yes.
Unless you are willing to pay for this information in another way, I have questions of my own.
I understand, but my questions were not personal, my lord.
How would the fledgling know and be so sure of something that takes a
Mhm.
select few a long time to even hear about, let alone be able to experience?
I cannot be completely sure, my lord, but I figured that if my questions to you were too personal, that you would have told me to keep my mouth shut and to not think of it anymore.
I am not your sire, Chen.
No,
I do not inhibit a healthy curiosity.
as long as it stays healthy. And digging too deep into your personal matters, I would assume at some point would not be healthy anymore.
You'd not be the first that wants to dig into my personal matters.
I have no desire to dig into your personal matters, my lord. They are yours, and I respect privacy.
Something tells me that behind that innocent allure of yours, there is a part of your sire, part of her wicked tongue and cunning ways that you wish to hide better than she did, out of the fear that you would not share her fate.
I am no more than I appear to be, a fledgling willing to learn, but I do know my place, my lord.
Fuck this, I'm rolling this. Come on. Come on. But
This is sad. Now
even
this
Orsini's
totally
intuition,
sad.
even Orsini's intuition at this point is like bullshit.
Ay, 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 ay. Oh God, said I suck at subterfuge. I fail.
No, that's an actual failure.
Yeah, it is an actual failure. So you only need to roll success.
Phew.
There you go. Okay. Well, she's not fully lying, but she is. It's more that she's trying to be more than that innocent thing, but she's trying to learn how to be more than that. Hence the failure. It actually
Yeah.
fits rather well.
I'm gonna regret this in the morning, but it's too fun not to do it.
Oh boy.
But I need to pull out the book because I can't remember what to roll
Oh
off the
god.
top of my head.
Oh no. Oh dear. Okay.
It's been a while since I used dominate on people.
Oh boy. Oh.
Where the fuck did I put my copy of the Dark Ages? Way too many books. Way too many books.
I'm actually opening a PDF, so if I get it before you, then
Yeah, way too many PDFs.
dominate. Which one are you trying to use? I take it number 2.
I think it's either 2 or 3. Page 217, apparently.
Yeah, 218
Yeah,
for 2.
218. Complex commands is 2 or 3. 2.
Mm-hmm.
Manipulation leadership. I don't get the penalty because I see perfectly in the dark, so it's not that big of a deal to catch your gaze. Okay. Wording must be specific, yada yada yada. Manipulation leadership. I'm presuming she's higher gen than him.
I expect so.
Orsini is 7.
She's 8.
Fair enough. You're like my very own ghoul. Childer. Okay. Manipulation plus leadership.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to see what your difficulty is. Because it says somewhere. It requires avoiding, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, that's the difficulty. What's your diff then? Because I thought that was specific difficulty last time. I don't know. I guess it's just simply 6 then, since I'm not sure.
Not all dominates have characters avoiding the vampire's gaze can roll willpower, difficulty equal to the vampire's manipulation plus intimidation.
And she doesn't know that you're doing it, so she won't.
Fair enough. Let's see where this goes. Here's hoping I don't botch this.
Oh wait, dominate difficulties are equal to the victim's current willpower points, unless otherwise noted. So your difficulty is 7.
Fair enough. 3 successes.
Nice.
Bam chicka bam bam. First is gonna catch Irene's gaze. And through the powers of dominate, he focuses, spends a bit of time. Confess your motives, child.
I wish to try and find out where my visions are coming from, my lord. Wait. My lord, did you just... she will actually stand up at that point.
He's not saying anything.
Why? Why did you do this, my lord?
Why did I do what?
I would not have told you this willingly.
What are you implying?
What would happen if I would continue my implications?
Are you accusing me of something, fledgling?
Not yet, my lord.
Not yet. What are you trying to say, child? please, do not try to wear my patience thin.
I know you did something just now. I also know that I am in your haven and that there is no way that I could do anything against this, as you are in your right and in your haven. But I am aware of what you did, and I would like to know why you did this.
I have my reasons. You get cautious after a time, and you reach a certain age.
Were you afraid that I was trying to mislead you, my lord? She even sounds like she does not believe that, because she's a fucking fledgling. Like, hell no.
I was cautious of you not trying to do something that you might not be even aware of.
I see.
The fact that you felt what I did, the fact that you recognize the use of this power, leads me to believe that it has been used upon you a number of times.
It has been, but well, that is hardly something to be surprised of.
And I'm gonna spend the blood point and roll charisma plus performance.
Okay.
And that's, in case you didn't notice, that's presence one.
Don't you need to see the one doing the presents?
Don't think so.
I mean, presence one is awe.
Yeah,
You needed to see the
let
person.
the vampire capture the attention of those around her.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm speaking to you. We're alone in a room. This could get awkward.
Yeah, no, that is totally fair. Like, I thought you actually needed to see someone, but I did not check the power, for I do not have it. So
First time using it. So,
it's
okay.
first time for everything.
Charisma performance difficulty 7.
Is there a counter roll? Probably not.
One success. It's not that great. The number of successes determines how many people are affected. You're the only one
Another
here.
one around. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, as soon as an individual spends a number of willpower points equal to the successes rolls, he shake off all completely and remains unaffected for the rest of the night. Yeah, so Orsini, for a moment, after a certain time, you feel a vibe of trustworthiness and like parental warmth from him. Like, your gut feeling is telling you you can trust this guy. Because he's like exuding trust right now.
Yeah.
He's like Oprah.
Where's my car?
That's the dark ages.
Where's my carriage?
You're gonna get it on your 800th birthday.
Yay. But she'll respond to that by sitting down again.
It is displeasing to see that you have not figured out the fact that I have your best interest at heart, child. I know why I ask some questions, and uncomfortable as they may be, I think I can prove a point. Have I, or have I not, told you and the clan that Celine is unfit to be your sire, and that in mere weeks you shall be given to another? You hear a slow rise in his tone, like he's getting a bit pissed off.
Yes, my lord, you have.
And has it happened or not?
It has happened, my lord.
And are you better with Ulrich, or would you rather have been sent after your sire?
I am very happy that Lord Ulrich wishes to look after me. But you must understand that I did truly love Lady Alexandras. And her leaving is difficult.
And we all say that about our sires. The bond we share is hard to break and takes time. I had to go to the other side of the Mediterranean to escape my own. It was hard at first, but now I can stand face to face with him with no issues whatsoever. And though I still respect him for what he did, I have my issues with him. The blood bond with your sire will wear off. In a day, in a month, in a year, in 10 years. And you'll speak differently of her at that point. I will not lecture you like the priests about the ungodly nature of love between two women. Only I know the things I've seen between these walls. But still, it is the nature of my trade.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, I'm gonna give you this. You can roll a peony on Irene after this.
Okay.
And since there is like the eyes in effect, so she will not actively try to hide it. I
And
think.
remember last time I rolled this much in a scene? Thank you, Saskia, for reminding me how semi-incompetent I am at rolling dice in Discord.
Oh. You know, fuck
One
it. I
success.
will. Ah, okay. Now, something in your statement, like almost a fake smile on her face, as if there is some part of your statement that does not apply to her, in a way.
Is she sitting or standing right now?
She sits.
Okay. just to make this more awkward. Orsini misreads this thing because it's been a while since he's been on humanity, and he stands up and goes next to you, and you feel his cold, ungodly cold hand slightly caressing your cheek. Your cheek. Uh, I see. You are still young, still subject to some desires. Can assure you that if you find comfort in the arms of another woman, it can be arranged for you.
My lord, um, I do not require. I am still a virgin.
That can be solved as well.
My lord, with all due respect, I have no desire to resolve that.
Then maybe the works of the poetess Sappho are not as popular as they once were in the city of Byzantium. Out of character, this is like a really erudite joke because thanks to Sappho, we have the term lesbian. So he's basically telling you you're so deep in the closet you can't even see the handle on the door.
There is simply a very shocked expression on Irene's face.
Still, a lot of wishes have their soothing between the walls of the rose.
If you say so, my lord.
And he goes behind the chair and puts both his hands on your shoulders. And they're cold, regardless of how. Unless you're wearing like a woolen coat, you can feel his hands are cold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not proud of using the powers of the blood against you. But then you need to understand the fact that I was entitled to do so as you came into my domain uninvited and unannounced. And that you are a proven breaker of a tradition. So I had to take precautions. I wish you no harm, child. But I wish you to cut the masquerade when you're in my presence. I've seen so many like you before. Young, smart, pretty, Greek, that hide a wide array of talents behind the pretty face and an innocent smile and the well-articulated tongue. So unless you're honest and open when you speak to me, I reserve the right to treat you as a spy or as someone that comes to my home with hidden intent. Should you bring this up with Ulrich, I have no issue with it, and I should not lie to him. Though if you think that the comfort of a fledgling weighs more than the rules of the traditional domain, you might find another breach of the traditions branded on your back.
My lord.
And you feel him gripping your shoulders a bit. And he's not that strong and doesn't have that much potency, so it doesn't hurt, but he's trying to make a point.
Hmm. My lord, with all due respect, what traditions have I broken?
Well, let's just say that you go and speak to Ulrich. And coming on my domain unannounced,
I've sent out my guard to
do you
announce.
think that a guard is proper announcement? Do you think that the guard at the door, the tall Moor that scares everyone from my back door, do you ever think he entered this basement, let alone this room? He's there to keep people away.
Then
He could have sent a letter. The clan has not seen me for the past month. The fact that you almost had the nerve to lecture me on using the powers of the blood inside my own domain upon an uninvited guest would be a breach of the tradition of domain. The fact that your sire was unable to control you and you were manipulated by one of another clan breaks at least two traditions, but I read them more widely than most do. Have I answered your question, child?
yes, my lord. And it was not my intention to breach your domain, but I understand the fault that I made, and I will make sure that it will not happen again.
If you're so eager to find an answer to your questions, if you're so eager to find what the abyss holds, tell Ulrich, see what he says, and have him send you to train with me or pass you on to me. And that would be one way of handling it. The second would be waiting and learning what you can until you are released, and then your will is your own, and then come and train with me. Or, should you not wish to see what wisdom the abyss holds, live with your visions and hold your peace forever. Have I made myself clear, child?
You have, my lord.
Have I answered your questions to your satisfaction?
Yes, my lord. Do you have... You asked me a question before. Do you still wish an answer?
What would be the point of asking a question you do not wish an answer to? At this point, he releases your shoulders and goes back to his chair and leans on it a lot harder than before. And you can hear two thumps on the desk, which you would pretty much figure out that this is Orsini putting his heels on the table and just relaxing completely, like not giving a fuck anymore. He did his little lesson.
These visions, I have not known a day. Well, there were days without them, but I have had them ever since I was a child, a mortal child. I cannot remember them ever being completely gone. However, ever since my embrace, they became more, well, frequent.
I hate to say the fact that when it comes to visions, the only ones that could offer true guidance are the Malkavians, but unfortunately, due to the weakness of their blood, they seldomly prove worthy teachers. And I would not soil one of my clan in asking for help from a low clan, especially from theirs. I could show you the source of your visions, but that would mark you. That would change you, or that might very well mean your final death. I have enough blood on my hands as it is. I have a few ashes on them as well. Should you decide that this is the path you want to pursue, come to me and I will show you. You'll not be the first apprentice I take. My Chalder, the pretty little thief that hides behind the walls. That girl is also my apprentice. And though she is initiated in some of our secrets, her path lies elsewhere, at least for the moment.
I see. I will think about this some more, and I will take your advice and discuss this with my sire as well.
Before you leave, child,
Yes, my lord.
how capable are you with the powers of our clan?
I am somewhat stronger than most. I am capable of
And you
getting
hear Orsini's,
others.
as you say this, you hear Orsini's boots fall to the floor, and you hear another two thumps on the desk, which are his elbows, and you feel a cold finger on your lips. If I wanted your opinion on it, I would have asked for your opinion.
I meant in terms of physical strength, my lord. I presume you wanted to know all, and not just one, so I decided to
I
start.
do not care how strong your arms become through our blood. I care little about your capabilities of swaying the mind of Canaanites and kine alike through the strength of your sight and your voice, for we share those powers with others as well.
Yes,
The Ventru
understood.
can use the power of domination. Even the filthy Tremere are able of that. The potency of our blood, the strength enhanced by the blood, is another power that we share with most and that some, after a while, develop without even being trained. Some consider it a mark of age, the speed, the strength, the capability to withstand blow after blow without flinching. These are common abilities. Yet there is one ability that we do not share with others. It is this ability that allows us to connect to the abyss.
I can manipulate the direct shadows around me, and I can summon a field of shadows. But that is how far my capability goes.
Weak, very weak. Go now to your sire, child. Tell him whatever you wish. But I can tell you now that you are not fit for my path.
Ever or just now, my lord?
That is for me to know and for you to find out. Before you prove yourself to the abyss and at the risk of final death, you need to prove yourself to me under the risk of severe scorn. I will give you one more chance to be taken whenever you see fit. If you do not show more prowess, more willingness, and the right approval, don't even bother asking for it. Have I made myself clear, child?
Yes, my lord.
As far as your other problems go, should the human side in you feel the need for a man or a woman or both I can provide.
If that would ever be the case, I will make sure to come back here.
I have a few girls who are more than capable of uh, careful, and tender, and pleasurable deflowerment. Should you miss a motherly touch?
Thank you for your answers, for your counsel, and for your offer, my lord.
And should you ever wish to visit me again, leave your role at the door and tell Ulrich to keep his lackeys. I'm sure that whoever you brought with you, should they be human, should they be men, they're drunk and well sucked dry by now. And I do not mean of blood.
Yes, my lord.
I have given you enough to think about. Unless there is another question that burns through your minds, I think it would be polite for you to take your leave.
Just one more question, my lord, if you would be willing to answer this. If I were to come for advice, would that count as the last chance, as you put it, to take you up on your offer? Or is there a difference between the two?
Am I your sire, child?
No,
Am I your foster sire?
no.
Then you have your answer.
Thank you for answering, my lord. I will take my leave now, and I apologize for disturbing your peace.
Orsini rises to his feet.
As does Irene, and she'll make her way to the door. She does not have dark sight, so um,
Noticing she stumbles,
yeah.
Orsini lights the candle and it barely flickers, barely, but it sheds some light, as in you can see the door.
And she will go to the door, open it, turn around, curtsy, and then will leave backwards through the door, closing it before she turns back around and leaves the establishment.
And unless you want to add anything else, I believe we can call it a scene.
We can definitely call it a scene. Thank you, player, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for watching. And we will see you again at Edessas Season 2.